Good morning. Welcome to the September 25th meeting of the Buena Vista Lagoon Joint Powers Committee. May the record reflect that we are all present. And let's do the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Mayor Blackburn, could you please lead us?
Please join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we are on number 2, which is comments from the audience. Are there any requests to speak from the public members to speak on items not on the agenda?
We do not have any requests to speak.
Thank you. All right, next, item number 3 is approval of minutes from the May 22nd meeting. We all had a chance to look at them? Okay, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
A second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That was I too, me, right? All those against say nay. Any abstentions? They're approved unanimously. Thank you. All right, we are now on to, item number 4 is new business, and we have none. Item number 5 is old business, and first one that we will be addressing is A, Lagoon Enhancement Project, Technical Studies Performed, Update by Sandag. And we have...
Good morning, committee. My name is Tim Murphy. I'm a senior program manager with the City of Carlsbad.
And I'm Jamie Timberlake. I'm the Coastal Zone Administrator for the City of Oceanside.
So today you'll receive an update from Sandag on Lagoon Enhancement Project technical studies performed. The recommended action is to receive an informal report on the Buena Vista Lagoon Enhancement Project technical studies performed. I will hand it over to Lauren Lee with Sandag.
Is it on?
She's about to turn it on.
I'm sorry, I distracted our clerk. Normally we have the pictures here in front of us, so I was just inquiring how to do that. Was it that simple? Just turn it on?
Yes, but don't tell anybody.
That's your job security. I think you could begin, and we can just look at the big screens until the personal ones come up. Thank you.
Is this working? Oh, perfect. Well, I'll repeat myself. Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Lee. I'm a regional associate planner at Sandag, and I'm here to give you an update on the Buena Vista Lagoon Enhancement Project. So just give you a little bit of a background. Over the last few years, we've been doing technical investigations, which include topography, geotechnical sampling, as well as updating a vegetation map in 2022. And we've been coordinating with landowners as well as stakeholders and agencies to identify key issues with our upcoming design. And we are finalizing 30% currently. So as part of the project refinement, we've been meeting with all of these entities that is on the screen between late 2023 and this last summer. And our project refinement is based on these technical investigations and the coordination with these groups. So part of the refined project is this slide shows a map of the proposed habitats throughout the lagoon. You can see at the location of the Buena Vista Lagoon Audubon Society's project in the Northern Railroad Basin relative to ours. results in habitat refinement in the railroad basin and coast highway basin, while the Weir and I-5 basins remain the same. The railroad basin reflects the Audubon's restoration project design on the north side of the basin and increased intertidal habitat areas. Coast Highway Basin incorporates a gradient of subtidal and intertidal marsh habitats, and subtidal fish area has been removed. There were other considerations during the refinement, which is the offset of grading line from private properties, so the enhancement project doesn't preclude any separately planned trails. To maintain existing trails and pond within the Coast Highway Basin near the nature center, if possible, and design bridge design standards consistent with the cities, as well as consider possible planting gathering locations, resources, traditional materials, and access for integration for future project design. We've also, if possible, incorporate fish access in the bridge. So from the cities of Oceanside and Carlsbad, we met with city staff to discuss required permits as long as with approvals and the consideration of drainage improvements along the Carlsbad Boulevard Bridge and not precluding trails in the design of the project. There was also a few comments about consideration of jetties to maintain the mouth inlet. As part of the 30% design, these are the components of the report and plans. And we are finalizing this with incorporation of the feedback and considerations that were provided by the resource agencies as well as landowners. So on our way forward, we have completed 30% design and are finalizing throughout the end of this year and detailing the inputs and feedback from these landowners and stakeholders of the lagoon. And now we are beginning and initiating 65% design, but as a reminder, we do not have funding to get to full 65% design, but just a memo just currently. So as well as identifying and potentially securing remaining funding needed to complete the 65% design. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the dais? Councilmember Shin?
Thanks for the presentation. I saw on one of the slides the amount of agencies that you have to coordinate this with, and I, being on the board of Sandag, we realize the complexity of what these projects can take. Do you know, is there potential funding to be able to get to the 65% completion, or will we hold on that yet?
Yes, so currently we're waiting to hear back about a federal earmark. That wouldn't also necessarily get us to 65% design, kind of depends on what ultimately would get approved, if approved, as well as Kim Smith and myself are working on a Proposition 4 grant in the meantime to kind of see what happens. But that's part of the next steps is trying to identify remaining for 65%.
And some of the anticipation, so like if we were to get funded, what's the kind of a timeline to be able to get a project like this done?
To complete, finalize planning, that kind of just depends on the funding and the amount. If, segmental, it's kind of difficult because it does become a lag of time in contracting. But I can get back to you on more of a timeline if we were to be fully funded with 65%.
Got it. And the last question is just, is there forethought as well about if we could ever get a 78 to 5 interchange going? Is that a part of the calculus of this?
Yes, it's part of the coordination with, NCDD and also Caltrans. And right now there are kind of unknowns about when that will take place. So we've been working with them to see if there is movement and just kind of keeping an eye on that. So.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
That's all.
What about the Coastal Conservancy? Is that part of Prop 4, or can we also apply for funding there, their grant?
Yes, we can. So right now, Proposition 4 with the Wildlife Conservation Board is what we're aiming to look at right now, since that is one of our,
We need $4 million, right?
Yes, they gave us around $3 million. We got $1 million from CDFW from Prop 50. So we're waiting, kind of developing that and hoping that works for us.
So is the target still $8 million altogether?
It's
so
about,
4 more?
It's about 6 million for 65% to finish 65.
So 6 million in addition?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the federal earmark, how much are we pursuing there?
We are pursuing the remaining, I think it was about 3 million. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I misspoke. The remaining for 65 is 3 million. For full design, it would be 6 million.
Oh, so it's not 6?
Yeah, it's 3 million, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Are there any other funding potential, other grants or funding potential?
Not that we are aware of, but we are open if in communication with your staff about any opportunities that may come up.
Yeah, I thought I read that the governor was trying to address issues with respect to wetlands and preserving
Yeah.
habitat and all that. So, has there been another program?
Not that I am aware of
Okay.
currently, but we are keeping an eye on it through our government relations. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
To address what you were just looking at, Kevin, the number of agencies that were involved in this. I was new to this committee almost 17 years ago, and I remember going home after my first meeting and telling my wife, this is truly one of those examples of too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody was pulling in different directions, and we were getting nowhere. But by the second meeting, I got to tell you, Mayor Sanchez took control of that entire meeting. I was very impressed. Went home and bragged about that to my wife. But also, thank you, because once Esther got a hold of getting everybody organized, thank you to Keith Greer from Sandag for saying he would take the lead on this. So I don't think we would be where we are right now if it wasn't for Mayor Sanchez and for Keith Greer. So thank you to everybody who's kind of followed in line and making this what it is. Someday, hopefully it'll be in my lifetime, we'll be able to celebrate the completion of this.
So one of the issues that came up, because we were hoping that this would be on the Public Works list for Caltrans for mitigation of the I-5 widening. And so what ended up happening is they put those dollars somewhere else. And I've been trying to get Sandag to help us with the balance of the funding, you know, with as you know, as part of this, you know, Caltrans mitigation. And unfortunately, because of what happened, where a lot of folks were upset that the mitigation funds went outside of the area, now there is a new rule or new goal that those funds, mitigation funds, should stay in the area. So, which makes sense, obviously. But that means that our situation hasn't been addressed yet, and how will that happen? So I'm still having those conversations with Sandag and how they can help us, especially since Mario was with Caltrans for so long, and I'm hoping that we can get somewhere finally. Somewhere, it doesn't have to be in Southern California, it could be anywhere in the state, right? The Caltrans project, and then mitigation funds going to, it would be nice to at least get this part of it done. So, but thank you very much for continuing to try to get that gap so that we can finally get to 65%, which would be shovel ready, right? Could you put your mic on?
Sorry about that. Yes, so it wouldn't necessarily be shovel-ready because you would still need to do final design and permitting. But as of right now, from the direction of the board, we only have up to 65%. So once we get there, that's kind of those conversations.
Yeah, right now we're at 35%, right? Is that what the slide said?
30%, yes.
Yeah, yeah, but the goal was to get to 65%, pretty
Yes,
much
absolutely.
shovel-ready. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from the public?
I do not have any public speaker cards.
Thank you. All right, next we're going to hear from Natalie Shapiro, who I saw earlier, and that is Wetlands Reserve Restoration Project Update. And this is update by the Buena Vista Lagoon Audubon Society. Natalie?
Good morning, Mayor Sanchez and Blackburn, and council members and members of the public. I have a slight cough. It's an allergy thing, so you'll have to excuse me. Drinking water is needed. Okay, so just a brief update. We have some really good news on how our project is proceeding. And quick background, just brief background. Our location is, I feel like I'm too tall for this, north shore of the Buena Vista Lagoon in South Oceanside. And our project goals is mainly to restore native habitat, water quality improvements, maintaining and improving public and coastal access, and reconnecting indigenous and local communities to the wetland reserve. So I think everybody's been there and understands the challenges. There's a lot of soil erosion, invasive species, unmaintained trail, and historic wetlands have been filled up by imported fill back in the day for development. Can everybody hear me okay? I can't tell. Okay. So project updates. Back in January, we received a certified CEQA and local coastal program permit from the city of Oceanside, and that was in January. Following that, our next step was to do permitting with the cities of Carlsbad, because part of the project footprint is in Carlsbad, and also with resource agencies. So we met with resource agencies and just wanted to make sure our design was on track and they were happy with it and thought it would pass muster for permitting. They suggested reducing the amount of grading significantly in the project to minimize open water areas. And I have some maps showing the difference after this slide. And the big thing in coastal habitat restoration is creating, as sea level rise occurs, that covers up existing wetlands. So it's very important to provide space for future wetlands, and that's called transitional areas for wetland migration. That's the terminology. So they were saying we really need to focus on that and minimize some of the open water that we created in our plan. So following that, we created an alternative design reflecting these suggestions and have been meeting since March with the resource agencies to see if they feel that that is all right. And last week, we heard finally from the Coastal Commission that they're fairly happy with the way the project is proceeding with this alternative design, and it's okay to move forward. So next few slides show what that looks like. So this slide, that dark blue navy kind of rectangular area in the south is the in the city of Carlsbad and owned by the state Fish and Wildlife. And the area to the north is our land. And there's a little bit of wetlands in our land just to the north of that dark blue area, and the rest is all covered in invasive plants and everything that people know. And I know everybody's been out there. So that's what it looks like right now. So here's a comparison of our new design to the original, and you see the big difference. The slide on the left, the southern part of that map, that blue area is the open water that the agencies wanted us to scale back by reducing grading. So you see the difference. There's just much less. And the middle areas, the brown and green, are wetlands, so a little more wetlands. And then the pink is a meadow-type habitat, which will be part of the future transitional areas. So you see there's more of that than in the original design. So this is what the plan would look like after we've restored the project area. And again, the project's footprint includes our 3.5 acres and about 2 acres of City of Carlsbad Fish and Wildlife land. Following the lagoon enhancement project, the area is now open to the ocean and is a tidal influenced ecosystem. So we have different levels of salt marsh. So the dark blue at the bottom shows the open water, and you can see the difference between both the alternative design on the left and the original design on the right. And the aqua area to the north is the transitional area. That's that area that will accommodate sea level rise in the future. and the areas in between are different types of wetlands. And then we're looking at predicting sea level rise in the year 2050. Again, you see the differences. Now sea level rise is starting to occur, and that transitional area will accommodate future wetlands. And then finally, in the year 2100, the resource agencies were really unhappy with that look on the right. The original design, that blue, was so much open water, not enough wetlands areas. So that's why, when we scale back the grading in our plan, ultimately we see a big difference in the year 2100. Okay, and this was just a table comparing numbers if anybody asks me, so I'll just gloss over it for now. But basically, less open water, more wetlands. Everything else of the project stays the same. We're only addressing the wetlands in this alternative plan. Okay, well, here's the downside for the city of Oceanside is that because we're reducing grading, we may be below the threshold for sand export to the city beaches. So the original plan, the amount of dirt, really, you see the big difference. And that those numbers, we don't know how much of that is sand versus non-sand. That testing hasn't been done. So that encompasses all everything excavated. So that's a dramatic difference from the original plan to the new alternative plan. So Jamie Timberlake will probably need to talk a little bit about this because we were starting to do the SCOOP program. Project benefits, I mentioned that in our goals. It's a wonderful project. Even with this alternative plan, it's still doing wonderful things. And next steps, we will work with Jamie Timberlake on the sand issue. And we also will probably need to go back to the Planning Commission for the City of Oceanside and staff to submit the plans just because they've been changed, and we don't know exactly what that looks like. And at the same time, we can begin permitting with the City of Carlsbad and a long list of permits with various agencies. So we're going to be doing this all at the same time. So a lot of juggling of permits. And that's my presentation. Any
questions from the board? Yes, Councilmember Shin.
Thanks for the presentation. I just have one question. Can we go to slide 8, please? This is just literally so I can get educated.
I
on
don't know
something.
which number that
You're on
was.
14. Yeah, keep going. I'll tell you when. You're on 11.
2 more. Yeah, 1 more.
Okay,
That's
just
it.
got one question. So,
On that one? Okay.
yeah, what's Isocoma menziesii?
Okay, that's, I believe that's golden bush. So right now, if you're walking around any trails in open space, that's the one plant that's blooming right now. It's got yellow flowers. It's like all over the place. And what's really cool about that is it blooms when nothing else blooms in the summer. So yeah, so those there's a bunch of that there. So those are the names of the plants, and they call that's a habitat type when that's the majority plant.
Gotcha.
So.
I understood everything in every single slide you had except for that one word, so I just wanted to get
A lot of
clarified.
us
Now
like-
I'm 100%.
A lot of us like using Latin for the names of the plants. So.
I got you. Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Any other questions? Councilmember Figueroa?
Yeah, you mentioned in regards how it can potentially impact Oceanside SCOOP project in regards to our sand. Can we look at that slide? I think it was the second to
Yes.
last one that you just showed. Was it the cut or the fill? I'm trying to understand.
Sure. Oh, sorry, I didn't explain that. So cut would be the total volume of dirt that's excavated, and then fill is what we leave on site. So part of the project is to move dirt that we've excavated up to the north part of the project site to buff up an area for a trail, and also help buff up the there's an eroding slope right by, like, that area right below the neighbors. Mm-hmm. It's eroding, so it would be twofold, creating a space for the future trail and buffing up the eroding slope. So that fill that's what's left on site, and then net export is what we can't use on site. for these project goals, and we have to export. We have to remove and take elsewhere.
Got it. So we would, as far as when it comes to sand, we would only be able to export. We're looking at the bottom number, the 3,100.
Well, that's not just sand. That's also dirt. So we don't.
So we don't know what part of it.
And there's like I'll be wanting to work with Jamie on that. If I know there's a threshold below which it's not. We don't look at it. I'm not really sure of that process. I know our rest
To
of
the costs, right?
Yeah, in general, we accept 5,000 cubic yards or more,
Okay.
just due to the cost to move it. But we
Okay.
can work with you on that, especially if you have suitable sand.
Yeah, we'll work on that just because, yeah. And again, that we don't know how much of that is sand, of that 3,120.
Well, I want to compliment you, Ms. Shapiro, for the presentation you did at the tribal meeting for the San Luis Rey Band of Mission Indians. That presentation, the band has been active, right? Members have been out there, and they're hoping to restore some of the traditional cultural activities that they used to do, including gatherings and harvesting reeds for basket weaving. So it's very exciting to see that kind of activity coming back as well. So
We're really enjoying that too, and everybody's been great to work with, and thank you. That was quite.
that was
the
an
meeting.
amazing meeting. So
That was the very powerful meeting. So, but thank you.
thank you. Any questions from the public?
I don't have any questions from the public.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Shapiro. We are now on item number 6. It's committee member comments. Any comments from the committee members? Yes.
This is my final meeting of this committee. It's been a quick 4 years, but I decided not to renew my appointment, rather want to pursue some other volunteer opportunities more consistent with my experience and expertise in healthcare and behavioral health. So I'll be looking at other ways to contribute to our communities. So appreciate the opportunity with this committee, though.
Thank you, Mr. Stimmel. Thank you so much for has it been 4 years already? No. Yeah. Well, thank you for serving as Carlsbad's representative. And so the city of Carlsbad, the mayor, will be sadly replacing you, which is hard to do, I'm sure. Thank you.
I just want to piggyback on what you said about Natalie's work. What I think of when I think Audubon is just birds. And look at all this you've taken on, and this is amazing work you've done, way outside of my expertise, so I'm very impressed when I look at all this work you've done. So thank you.
All right, so the next meeting will be noticed and posted at a later time. Do we have an approximate date that we have for that?
We were looking at February 26th. That would align with the current year's calendar of the fourth Thursday of the second month.
Thank you, Mr.
quarter.
Murphy. And it'll be at the City of Oceanside. So without any other comments, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everyone, for coming.